Do you want to get healthy? What are three things you can do right now to improve your health? Yourself, if you know you cannot go all in 100% right away and make these changes, then you start small. Find ways to eliminate certain things, right?
When I say health, I'm not just saying, "Oh, I'm healthy and I'm taking all these medicines." I'm talking about where you're living in in a place where you are absent of disease, but you're able to recover quickly if you do get sick. Let's go way back to when you first started to think about health and really become healthy. When I say health, I'm not just saying, "Oh, I'm healthy and I'm taking all these medicines." I'm talking about where you're living in in a place where you are absent of disease, but you're able to recover quickly if you do get sick. You're optimal body composition. You're not taking any medicines to manage any kind of symptoms. I mean, talk about real, true health.
Right.
So, kind of, where did you start from, and kind of how'd you get there?
Well, when I was in my early 20s, that's when I felt like I had perfect health. But I had a lady friend who was somewhat of a mentor. She was a lot older than me, and she basically took me on under her wings. And she was one to eat very clean, live very healthy, spent time outdoors in her garden, and so forth, right? And she was someone I looked up to. And her son was a naturopath physician. And he was the one who got her on that train. And between the two of them, I was hanging around them. And, when you hang out at a pool long, if you'll get splashed, right? So I started adopting that lifestyle of eating clean, detoxing the body, drinking a lot of water, eating fresh food. And it became like something that just invigorated me. I love talking about it. I love
Like,
living that
what
lifestyle.
was it about it that really caught your attention? Like, man, I want to live this lifestyle.
Well, to see someone at the time she was in her early 60s and she looked phenomenal. Her skin looked great. I mean, she did not look like she was still 30 years old, but she looked phenomenal. And she had a twin sister who looked a lot older than her, and they were identical twins. So,
And that sister didn't live the
like
same
how
way.
no,
Oh,
no, no, she didn't. And she exercised and she ate properly, took care of her skin, took care of her body, because she always felt like what you put inside of it will reflect on the outside. And I wanted to be like that when I get to her age. I say, I want to be able to do all the things and not let things slow me down. Knee pain, back pain, whatever sickness or disease hold you back. I wanted to be like her. And I remember she would go for her annual checkups to her son, and he gave her a clean bill of health, always said, I can't find anything wrong with you. And he said, my only recommendation is that you need to get more sleep,
wow.
because she wanted to do so much in a day, but she had so much energy.
You know what's so interesting about that is you see a lot of times doctors and everything about health, people talk about, oh, it's because of my mom, my dad, my
Right.
family.
Right.
It's I can't do anything. It's my genetics. I'm flawed in a sense.
Right.
But you saw two identical twins, almost identical genetic makeup, living one way in a whole different environment, one completely different, and you saw the effects it had on the overall body, the way you look, and how you're just feeling.
Correct.
That's pretty
Correct.
sweet.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we went out to dinner, we went to only certain restaurants because they knew the owners of the restaurant and the chefs, and they would alter the menu to accommodate them. So I saw all of this, and it was possible. Eating fresh food, eating clean food, homemade food, simple food. It wasn't even something that was cooking all this fancy sauce or laden with fat. It was just really simply prepared food that was delicious. So,
So you got inspired at a pretty early age,
yes,
and the health is all around. It's just some people don't see it. You
yes.
saw it; it got you, and imagine, I met you probably in your early 30s, somewhere in that ballpark, right?
Late 20s.
Late 20s,
Yeah.
okay. And so you were literally kind of living that lifestyle. So as you saw it, you started adopting it. What kind of health challenges or things did you want to avoid during that time, or even when we're together, that really kind of pushed you even to go even harder or further into?
I didn't want to be on medication because I watched my father. He was on medication for a long time. He had supposedly asthma and he was on steroids for like 25 plus years. And that destroyed his liver, his kidneys, that he needed dialysis. And basically, his organs started to fail on him. And I never wanted to go down that path. I wanted to always take care of my body, what I put into it, because not everybody want to eat healthy because taste is king, right? Everybody wants something that tastes good, but they don't think of the ramifications later on. But then so because of that, I didn't want to go on medication for anything. So I always tried my best to eat clean and healthy as possible. Was I perfect? No. But then as time went on and I started noticing I had a problem with my skin. Vitiligo, which is where you lose the color of your skin. And I tried everything to take care of it. And doctors would say, oh, that's a hard disease to treat. And I thought at first I wanted to put medication on it, topical creams. And I remember
As a steroid. Yeah.
right, which is what my father was on. So I remember this one doctor said to me, I asked him, what can I put on my skin? Because I had that mentality, right? Still, even though I did not want to be on medication, I was desperate because I was losing skin color on my face. And he said to me, he goes, you want medication for that? Medication is not really going to help. It'll slow it, but it's not going to help. And I was like, well, I still want something. And he goes, you want to take a perfectly healthy body and destroy it? And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he said, all medications have side effects. And it's like, oh. So I only used it sparingly. He gave me samples. He didn't even give me a prescription. He wouldn't write me a prescription. He said, you're in perfect health. Why would I do that? So anyway, then also too, when we got married and had children, our second pregnancy, during that pregnancy, I developed gestational high blood pressure. And after I had our daughter, the doctors told me, okay, your blood pressure is still up. You need to go see your family physician, your primary care physician, and you need some high blood pressure medication. I was like, wait, what? No. So that is what prompted me to make those changes.
Yeah, so you had a little bit of everything. You had a guiding light in a sense where you saw what it can mean to live a healthy life.
Right.
You were really impacted at an early age from a loss in your family, your dad. And I tell
Correct.
that story a lot, and you learn from that. Like, hey, medicine's not good,
Correct.
right? I mean, the medicine is what really didn't allow him to have our best day of our lives at our wedding,
No, he was
right?
there, yeah.
And then you also have some personal health issues you're overcoming. One that it's more of a beauty thing in a sense, like a little self-conscious, I would say. Another one is more of what traditional people kind of think of like high blood pressure,
Correct.
which is not really a disease. It's more of like a symptom, what have you,
Right.
something else going on. So you had a little bit of everything. And I think that's pretty typical to what most people experience, right? And what's pretty cool is that you actually had the awareness to see all these different things, and it's almost hidden in plain sight for a lot of people.
Yes.
No, I don't. I mean, I guess my story is I always, I was an athlete. I wasn't college Division I type of athlete, but I played basketball and football 1 year. I boxed in college, so I was always active, lifting weights, and so I was fit. I wasn't healthy, and what I mean by that, my body was fit. Big muscles. I could run when I wanted to run, but I would eat junk. But I always thought I was healthy, quote unquote, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then life goes on, and like I met you in my mid 20s, and we put on weight. What happened? I'm not being so active. And went to the doctors. I said, "You need to lose some weight." Okay, yeah, whatever. I'm still gonna go party in New York City. Then it finally hit me after we were married, having kids, and we were playing by the pool one year. This is probably about 7, 8 years ago. Can't remember. And I remember jumping in. It was my body was hurting, joint pain, and we had a video of us in the pool because of building memories. And I said, "Oh my Lord, look how big I am. Look how I'm jiggling." And it was actually really bad. This part's not on video, but I went to go jump in the pool and I couldn't lift off, like playing basketball, go for a layup. I couldn't lift up, and I drug my toe against the cement.
I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And it sliced through my toe. I remember hopping in, bleeding, almost like tomato soup. I could always explain it. Seriously, I mean, it was painful. And but as that cement sliced my toe, like a realization like sliced through me. So, oh my God, you know what? I'm so far off my dreams, the path I wanted to actually be on. I got to change something here. So that's like that more of the catalyst there. And I didn't feel confident. I didn't want to have my shirt off around you after looking at that. And that plays on, being a man. Man, I got to have confidence. I got to be able to lead my family. Then what really struck home, though, was when I was talking to one of my friends from college, one of the few I actually talked to, a great guy. He had a brother that passed away from heart disease, a heart attack,
And he was younger, right?
in the 40s.
Yeah, at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was younger than you.
Younger than me.
Oh, was he? Was he?
No, well, he was a little bit older than me
Okay.
at the time.
But it wasn't that much older.
Wasn't that much older, but I was going to my 40s, or I was probably at 40 or whatever, how
You're
old I
close
was.
to it, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Passed away. Like, oh my God, what happened? What's going on here? No kidding. Within the same year, he had another older brother passed away the same way, heart disease.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I'm not going to die like that, And we tried different things where the beach body workouts, in the gym, and I was just moving around. I wasn't really doing anything. And at the end of the day, I wanted to live on a life where I'm confident and just on a path of knowing that I'm not going to have any disease. And that's what really kind of the catalyst to get me going towards the whole journey. Yeah. So I guess when you think about that little starting point, right? What I guess we kind of explain that journey a little more in detail. Like, what did it look like to you?
In terms of what made me, when I changed?
Yeah. So you said early 20s, and so I know for myself, I was kind of dabbling here, dabbling there. I'm healthy, but yet that pull kind of like that was the defining moment. I mean, did you have a defining moment that really?
My defining moment was when COVID hit. I never, when you look in the mirror, well, for me, I looked in the mirror, my weight was fine for the most part. Because I think I was like around 130
Okay.
and 130 pounds. And
And that's considered 1/3 is considered heavy for your size.
I think so for my height,
You didn't like
my
the way you're
age.
feeling.
I didn't like it. But also too, I wasn't doing all the things I should have been doing because that life, right? You have children and you are trying to you're working, well, not working, but taking care of those children and managing the household and doing everything because you can't have two busy parents. One stays busy and the other one have to take care of the rest of the things around the house. So it was a lot of work. So I wasn't eating like I should have. And I lost focus of what I used to do in my 20s, right? Part of it is that, when you have kids to cook for, they don't want to eat the things that you want to eat, especially the healthy meals, right? And, and this is not placing the blame on you either, but it's just, I'm being honest about it. Even cooking for you, making sure that you have meals that will fulfill and being satiated, right? So it's like what you could eat, I don't think I could have ate. Well, but I still ate it, right? Because I didn't want to do extra work. So that was a big hindrance, and that,
And I think that's typical,
Yeah.
and it's not right or wrong, but to be clear the situation, I was like kind of the man. Hey, I want to eat
Right.
my food. I want to have this. I want to have my macaroni and cheese with real cheese. I want to have my pizza,
Right.
right? And by the way, I'm healthy, although I'm wiggling and jiggling and can't jump off the pool, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
You know, it's like I remember when you were in school, you were like drinking sodas. I used to be so mad
yeah, yeah,
because like that is not healthy,
yeah,
right? Um, but we made some changes over the years, and we were still eating a lot of processed foods. So then I get when COVID hit, it was like a wake up call
yeah,
because I felt like even though you know you think you're eating healthy, but you're not eating healthy because it's eating a lot of processed food because you're thinking it's easy and it's in the store, right? You don't have to cook. And again, I lost sight of what I used to do, which was eat a lot of fresh food, and that's how I was raised too, eating fresh food. So when COVID hit, I guess, you know, and they were saying that, you know, being overweight is a factor. Not that I was that much overweight, but, you know, that was a factor, right? And it was like a chance to like clean up and go back to basics in terms of what I knew, which is juicing, eating lots of big fresh salads with every meal, eating that combo meal, you know, combo in the sense a big salad, your raw vegetables, and then your cook vegetables, right? Because that's the big bang for the buck. So it's like, and then we discovered couple I'm not influencers, doctors out there,
hmm
and I listened to a lot of lectures, and they were all pointing to the same thing, right? Which is diet and lifestyle.
yeah. Like Dr. Bergman, he's a
Dr.
chiropractor
Bergman, yeah, Diane
in
Kaiser,
LA, Diane Kaiser, who actually became like a mentor of mine,
right,
right? Yeah,
right. So it's like, you know, after going through, you know, listening to these different lectures and, you know, going through different programs to clean out my body. I mean, I don't know if you remember also too, I wasn't feeling good
yeah,
during COVID, and
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I
It,
think we,
it wasn't from COVID stuff. It was just a whole nother symptom that you were experiencing just
some
for the time, the
yeah,
stress, whatever it may have been.
it
Yeah.
was weird, right? And I don't know if it was because of stress, because you know kids going back to school and yada yada, and I felt like I was having a lot of anxiety, and I never had
Yeah.
anxiety before, never. And I have. It's not like we live this, you know. I don't think we have this bad life, right?
Oh,
So I don't know where that anxiety was coming from. And I couldn't even drive down the street with the kids in the car without having to stop because I was having those panic attacks and I couldn't figure it out. But anyway, I went through the whole detox and did a whole 360 on my diet. And I told Taj and the kids, this is how we're going to be eating, plain and simple. And he was on board. He did not argue. You did not argue with me. And I think that was around the same time you had your reckoning and you were like, you know what, I got to do something.
yeah. A little bit after, you know, and it was that was also a little bit of the final factor because going through COVID, you know, just I'm an engineer and you know, a dentist, you know, doctor, same medical training, and it just didn't make sense to me.
Right.
However, it's like okay, this isn't making sense to me. However, I'm not gonna have the heart. I'm not getting COVID. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna have these symptoms. We're not gonna do it. And then what really also scared me too is you never called me at work.
Yeah.
You called me at work a couple times saying, "Hey, I'm having these panic attacks. I can't even drive. I don't know what to do." When you're all breaking down, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what can I do?"
Yeah.
I'm helpless, right? Because
Yeah.
if you want me to come pick you up right now, Cliff, I will come pick you up, even though I have 40 patients on schedule. I'll come pick you up.
Yeah.
It was real,
Yeah.
and that was a final nail in the coffin, if you will. That I'm living this healthy
Yeah.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then also too we incorporated exercising because even though we did the beach body and stuff so forth,
yeah,
I didn't exercise every day. I did not think like I didn't have the what's the word? The discipline to do it every day.
yeah,
I only did it when I felt like I did exercise every week, but it wasn't like Monday through Friday, consistent on a structured program. Um, After, I guess during COVID is when I got serious, and oh my goodness, it was a 360. So with the exercise, the detox, the diet change and lifestyle, getting more fresh air and sunlight and getting better sleep and so forth. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's been a total 360.
See, you mentioned it right there because when I think about it, men are stubborn.
Yeah.
We're men.
Yes.
We get on top of anything.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of times when we get caught up in this journey of life, we get busy. That's everybody. And the thing is that we make that an excuse.
Okay.
It's a complete excuse.
Okay.
Because if you really want to drink water, you drink water.
Right.
If you really wanted to brush your teeth, you would brush your teeth. If you really wanted to floss your teeth, you would floss your teeth, right? And so, and you said, that discipline, and you're so right. Because when I think about what I had to do, all I had to do was make a decision.
Yeah.
I made a decision. I'm done playing games. I'm going to get on this path and live that healthy lifestyle, right? I'm going to give my body a chance to actually heal itself, be immune to sickness in a sense, or it can recover quickly. That way I can live a longer and better life.
Correct.
I made a decision.
Right.
And when I made the decision, that allowed me to commit to it.
Okay.
And at that point, I won't say it was easy, but it's a very, very simple concept. I committed to it. And when I committed to it, I was all on board with the stuff we talked about, what you just kind of shared with everybody. I'm living it. I'm making a commitment. Whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. And then what I just said there about doing it, that's kind of like the third piece of what happened to me. I decided, I committed, and I just created action. When you do action and you start building those habits up, you get the results that you want.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, so you nailed it right on the head there.
Yeah. It's your mind is a powerful thing, and it's what you tell yourself too, right? It's I want to do this. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and when you do it, I guess that's kind of a mindset there as well. And so when I think about what people can do, of course, you can decide, commit, and have action, but there's also you got to have a willingness to learn.
Okay.
And when you're open to all these different lectures, these different viewpoints.
Yes.
'Cause I can tell you this. I tell my girls all this all the time. You see the herd, 95% of people going right, don't do it because it's not working. Go left, right? And you can go to Disney World. Everybody's going right, but if you go left, that stall's wide open.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Don't follow the crowd. Just follow the crowd. That herd mentality. So you got to be open to learn and just look in front of you and just realize that whatever is happening with our food, our health system, so many people, 70% of people are overweight.
Yeah.
Right? All these diseases, 50% of people are on statin drug like Lipitor.
Yeah.
That tells me something is not right. It's not working, right? And so you got to have openness to learn not only about nutrition, but like you mentioned, detox and what it truly means to live a healthy lifestyle. And so here I was in the medical field at a dentist, like, I just kind of know some stuff, right? No, not arrogant like a lot of doctors are.
Right.
Like you had a great doctor who said, hey, do you really want to take medicine?
Right.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And so at the dentist, I got to stay in my lane, licensing, right? But now during this whole period, like Diane Kaiser, I studied on her for more than a year, and I became a health coach. So that was kind of like my big opportunity and to help with the results, but also help other people outside the whole dental world, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of what would you say for, as you saw your evolution, you kind of hit upon it. You say, hey, just kind of plan a little bit. What are some of the things that you think were the necessary steps for you to get to where you are now today?
I think start small. If you're the type of person, everybody, you know yourself. If you know you're not, I'm all in and I am going 110% all in, some people could quit smoking cold turkey. That's them, right? But if you're not that type of person, start small. Because a lot of times food is like religion, right? And it takes people.
Give me my wings.
Yes, it takes a long time to change some habits, some bad habits that you've developed over the years. Or sometimes you don't even realize you developed this bad habit because you think you're eating clean, right? So it starts small. If you're addicted to cheese and you're saying, I can't give it up, why don't you cut back a little?
Oh my God, you think about cheese. I love cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese was my number one enemy
Mine
back in the
too,
day.
yeah.
I remember when I was living in New York City, I was walking down the street with my good buddy Neil, and I'll be the whole time, right?
Phlegm.
That look, it's so sexy and so elegant, right? Sorry, babe. But you get that phlegm, and I always had to spit. And he would look at me. He's like, "Man,
Nasty.
you gotta stop that." I said, "I can't. I don't know what to do." You know what it was?
Cheese.
The dairy and the cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that for me too. I remember one night I just could not breathe, and no matter, and it was during allergy season too. Well, the start of it, and it's like it was horrible. And I made the commitment right there and then. I am not going to eat cheese again because that was the most miserable feeling ever. To be so congested that you can't even breathe through your lungs or in your nose, right? So, but I would always say start small. Not it's progress, not perfection, right? So you just start small and it eventually will snowball, because I feel like that's how mine was. I was eating healthy, and then obviously came and had children, and living this, taking care of your family, and you've put yourself last. Not that that's an excuse, but I recognize the pattern and I self-adjusted, and I say, okay, certain things I need to cut back. And I did it with the whole family. Do you remember iced tea? When I used to make iced tea.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so my husband loves iced tea. But I did not like to buy the ones in the plastic jugs.
The Liptons.
Yes, I
Yeah.
didn't like that.
Or the Arizona iced tea.
Yes, I didn't want him to drink that because it's not good for your teeth and the sugar.
No, but it's iced tea.
It's iced tea.
It's iced tea, though,
it's
right?
Iced tea, right? But it tasted funny to me, if you ask me. So anyway, I would make my own tea, but then we would sweeten it because we're in the South. So you say sweet tea, right? But then it's like over time, I'm like, no, this is not good for us. So I would ease up the sugar. And then I would make 2 batches, one unsweet and one semi-sweet, right? And I mean, each time I'll cut back the sugar to the point where, like you could barely taste it. You guys were like, you might as well just make unsweet tea.
You were almost like a doctor weaning someone off of drugs that really want you off, but just slowly but surely to the point where like, oh my gosh, I don't need it.
Exactly.
And it tastes so much better.
You're so used to it now,
it tastes
right?
the flavor. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that when I say start small, right?
Yeah,
And
no,
don't
that's
beat
great.
yourself up, and start small wherever little changes you can make. And then each year we do every year we do a goals list.
That's right. Yeah.
And then, if you do a goals list and you keep it front and center and you say, you know what, in 2024, I want to cut back cheese and eating out. So if you eat out 4 to 5 times a week, maybe cut back to 2 to 3 times a week, right?
Yeah.
And you might say, you know what, I'm really enjoying this after 6 months. Let me cut it back even more, right? Mm-hmm. And so forth. So that's what I mean when I say start small.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's awesome because you control the kitchen in our house, right? We all
Yes.
help out, but you control the kitchen, and
I
that's a
do.
great way to mean it out.
Yeah, it's what I cook is what goes. I try to please everybody's palates. However, I'm finding the healthy way
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
You definitely started small, but you were planning this out the whole time. So kind of planning what to eat,
Correct.
right? And then I take it you learned, maybe these different. I don't want to call them hacks the wrong way because just explain them, but these skills to implement by just seeking information.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did a lot of research, always trying to find ways to make things or stuff that's affordable. Try to find swaps, healthy swaps. And my main center focus was always, how do I keep the processed foods down to an extreme minimum?
yeah,
I'm not saying that I'm not buying processed foods, but it's very, very, very small, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the 3 things that they can do right now to live that healthy lifestyle that we've been talking about. And I think it's a perfect thing. What you talked about was you want to plan and start small, doing baby steps.
Correct. Yeah. Start small. As anything, if you're not the type, you know yourself. If you know you cannot go all in 100% right away and make these changes, uh, then you start small. Find ways to eliminate certain things, right? For example, make a commitment. Say, hey, I'm going to cut back the amount of cheese I eat,
Yeah.
right? Or I'm going to cut back the amount of desserts I eat, or I'm going to cut back eating out so many times out the week, right? So instead of eating out 4 or 5 times out the week, cut it down to uh, 3 times a week, and just make those simple little steps, right? Because it's progress over perfection. You're not perfect, so I say start small.
Yeah. So number one, plan and start small and just start doing baby steps. I think number two is as you start to do that, is you want to be conscious of the fact that you want to create habits,
Correct.
right? When you create the habits around the nutrition,
Correct.
you kind of break the top.
Exercise.
Yeah, exercise,
Yeah.
drinking water,
Yeah. Those
right?
simple things. Yeah. Yeah.
But you even mentioned like detox, right?
Yeah.
Like or getting good sound sleep. You mentioned, right?
Correct.
Yeah. In order to create habits, you got to do the action. So you already made the commitment. You already decided. Now you got to actually do the things and do it by starting one, plan, start small, baby steps, and then create the habits by doing action.
Correct.
What as you do that, you don't want to think short term.
Right.
You want to think more long
Long term
term, right?
plan ahead.
Because we talk about planning, 60, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 100s to live. So you want to think in decades,
Right.
right? Get the results 10 years from now. What will the 10-year version of yourself say to you today,
Right.
right? Knowing where they're going to be or where you're going to be. Because you can go on a diet for 2 months, but that's 2 months and it's going to go right back to not doing anything.
Right. Because if you didn't make that a lifestyle or make it a good healthy habit, you're gonna go back to eating out and eating whatever, right? Eating indulgently, right? Versus if you make it a lifestyle and you say, no, I'm not gonna eat that. It's just on my birthday, I'm gonna eat that, right? On New Year's Eve, and that's it. So I think if you make it a create these healthy habits and make it a lifestyle, nutrition, exercise, whatever, and you plan out, it's not something that's going to happen right away. It's going to take you maybe 6 months to get there, 10 years to get 10 years.
No, yeah.
Well, it might take some people that long
Think
to
that
make that
way.
changes because
Yeah.
that's how I was. I mean, I was eating clean, and then once we had children and a family and trying to please everybody's palates, it's like I started eating more processed foods. But then I had to unlearn those things, and
Yep.
it's like it's been this journey I've been on, and always tell you
That's it, the journey.
every year I try to improve every year.
That's it.
We try
That's
to
it.
improve something every year because we're not perfect.
Yeah.
So instead of what was it? Last year I said, I'm not going to buy as much store bought almond milk, right? Something simple like that. It's like I make my own, right? Something simple as that. Or you could say, hey, I'm not going to go eat at all these fast food restaurants.
Yeah. And that's where you got to have the openness to be able to learn as you go through this journey,
Right.
right? It's not just an end point there.
Right.
So that's perfect. So the number one thing you can do is plan and start small,
Right.
baby steps. Number two, you want to create the habits with action around the nutrition, detox, exercise, just that style. And as you build your lifestyle up, you want to think in decades and not months to really get the snowball effects.
Right.
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 'Cause I tell you this, that's so head on. It's so powerful, so simple. It's not easy. And if you can actually get that concept, like I finally realized, in my like 30s or maybe early 40s, and I was able to lose weight. I mean, I lost 50 pounds. I can now jump in the pool, without all my jiggling, and I'm not gonna scrape my toe, and I can play with the kids all around. We go hiking up these steep old mountains and long old hikes, 10-mile
Right.
hikes. I'm not in any kind of pain. I don't get sick. I'm a dentist. So I'm around this bacteria in people's mouth, right? If bacteria and viruses are so contagious, how come I'm not always sick?
Right.
Well, I think it's more the vessel than the actual bacteria, right? My
Right.
body's clean. And not to mention, I think number one of all of this is that what that does, it just brews confidence, not only in life and the things that you do, but then your health, but also, man, it brews confidence and just being want to be attractive to you, right?
Right.
And hey, hey, here I am. I got my lion pose on, right? It makes you feel like instead of having that dad bod on the couch watching TV, what have you. Hey, babe, or whatever. That's not gonna get you excited.
Right.
I want to look good for you. And then another thing that's awesome, what builds confidence, if your kids see you and say, "Oh my gosh, Daddy, you're coming so far. I don't even see floaties anymore. The little floaties around your side." That goes a long way. And you try to be tough and not want to hear the compliments, but when your kids tell you you're doing good and daughter says you're proud of you,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
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 What about you? What accomplishments have you, or transformations have you encountered?
I feel like this lifestyle, detoxing, eating healthy, and just living a clean life, slowed the aging.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I don't move like how some of my friends my age, how they move. And it's just like, I feel like I'm very strong. I mean, you're younger than me and having to keep up with the kids. It's like, you have to stay
Keep it with
active.
me.
But I feel like I've slowed the aging, right? I don't feel, I mean, people tell me all the time that it's like when they find out how old I am or age range, it's like they're like taken back. It's like, wait, what?
Well, I tell you that all the time, dude, because I see so many people's age ranges every single day,
Right.
and I tell you, you look younger than people who are in their late 30s or early 40s. It's amazing.
Yeah, and then also too, it's like I did lose a little bit of weight. I mean, I didn't have a lot of weight to lose, but I did lose some, and I've kept it off.
Yeah.
And I feel fantastic, and it's like that was one way I was able to manage. I don't want to say manage is the right word, to make my blood pressure go back to a normal range again, because it it hasn't been up. I mean, the only way it goes up is when people make me mad.
But that's what's so powerful. You talk about manage. Okay, fine, yeah, manage. But what you did do was you decided I'm not having blood pressure, and therefore you're
Right.
not having high blood pressure.
Right. And I
Yeah,
refuse to be on medication. I refuse to do that.
yeah.
So
So
it's,
powerful.
yeah. So
Gosh.
now it's like when I do go, and it's like, I think last time I had my blood pressure check and it was in a normal, obviously in the normal range. And it's just like, I was surprised. And I remember you saying to me, why are you surprised? It's like, I don't know. It's just, it's good to hear, right? And I never have to worry now when I go to, not that I don't need to go to the doctor often, but it's like when I go in and they check, I'm fine.
Yeah, there's no need to go to the doctor when you're healthy.
Yeah.
You should only go to the doctor when you're sick
It's like,
anyway.
yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not
So,
sick.
yeah. And I feel amazing. I mean, I feel like I'm physically fit right now compared to when I was 10 years ago,
Oh yeah.
6 years ago. I feel way more physically fit. So,
Yeah, it's awesome too. And like I said, you look younger. I mean, you definitely have that baby face what called a whip appeal. But
Babyface was a singer, for those of you who don't
yeah, a
know.
long time ago, I know.
For those of you who don't know, Babyface was a singer.
So you got that whip appeal, whip it on me. But yeah, so that's awesome. So those are three things you can do.
Yes.
You want to close us out?
Yeah, start slow, start small, and
Create those habits, a
create
habit
those
lifestyle.
habits. Yeah,
That's simple. Make a decision.
yeah.
Yeah.
Until next time, thank you for joining us.
All right. Take care.
Bye.